All right, the highlights from August 29th. Again, it's August. It's the week before Labor Day, so the market's pretty dead, and trading's not great right now. We're still eking out some ideas, though, and I'll share them with you today. Market closed Monday, by the way. CSIQ had a nice little early pop, and because I'll show you first solar in a minute, one of our all-stars, Zozo, called that for the room. Great call. It made me look at CSIQ as well, which hit 1250 yesterday and then had a nice strong opening candle. I just simply called it long, at 1252. I think the stop was at 1240, and it didn't do much. It went to 1275, I think. Now, it actually went to 1280 at its best before giving it all up. So there was some money to be made there. First solar, much better call by Zozo, one of our moderators in the chat room. And he called it around 37.20. He was watching this on the opening 5-minute candle, called it right there. And that thing went all the way to over 38, almost a buck. So it was a really nice call by Zozo. While I'm talking about him, he also called Lennar, but I don't know where, so that doesn't make me doesn't make a very intelligent highlight. I don't know if he called a break of the 5-minute high or after the sellers came in and then it took off above that. Suffice it to say, Zozo made a very good call on Lennar. That the market and home builders actually unusually strong today. Here's the SPY, surprisingly strong all day, gap down and just kept climbing. It's given a little bit up at the end of every day, it seems to lately. But anyway, nice call on Lennar, even though I don't have the numbers for you. B-Turk, one of our moderator all-stars, called Verizon. Let me go to 5-minute candles. And he just called it right here, right over this red candle. He called it at 48.04, 47.89. And we got a quick 60-cent move almost. Very nice call by B-Turk. He's a very solid trader. GSVC. This is a thinner stock. But because it had this crazy move, I think they're related to the Twitter IPO coming up or something. Anyway, crazy move, but 3 days down in a row. So when I saw this little volume spike here and it hadn't broken the high of day yet, it made sense to me that this was overdue for a break of its early high, since it hadn't for 3 days after that big move. So I thought people might pile in. Anyway, I called it at 1245 with a 1225 stop. There's the trigger. And it holds the stop, and it just grinded the rest of the day, but it did get up to 1270. I don't usually call thinner stocks like that. LBTYA, I called right about here at 78.22, I think. Worst case stop, 77.95. Sorry, so a little over 20 cents risk. And from 78.22, this went to, at its best, 78.79, and you can see it took hours to get there. Again, August trading. Late in the day, I called a short in PETS. Said it was getting ahead of itself to the upside, plus had some resistance to the left here, recent highs. It had come a long way to get there, plus support at 16 would become resistance also. It didn't quite hit 16, but anyway, I just used 15-minute candles. Look at that kind of shooting star there. Called it below that with a high of day stop, which was only about 15 cents risk, and got a nice late end of day short there. Garmin, I missed a nice short in this one, but I did after Garmin was crazy strong. Here's the daily. And if I'd have seen how strong it was, I probably would have tried to fade this up here. But since I didn't, I saw it after it started to fall. I said, wow, Garmin would have been a nice short. Then when it came down here, while regretting missing my short, I said, hey, you've got a little base here. You're between these two greens. Well, it's one of our favorite setups in the chat room. We call it between the greens play. And you had, like I said, you had support at 41.50. So I alerted the room, possible long at Garmin right there, and got a 50-cent move from that area. So that was a decent little trade. Let me try that again. Yelp was very strong this morning. Very strong. Look at that volume and look at that shape. So it goes on the watch list, and this became a green line idea for me. See that green line there? When it comes down to there, I posted Yelp possible green line trade, which just means it's at the 5-minute, 24 period exponential moving average, which is where the 15.8 is, 15-minute candle, period moving average, but you can see it on 5s, and look at the turn right off that green line. It ended up going, the green line was probably right around 53.30, and it ended up going up probably $1.30 from there. And I know at least a couple people that I saw that did take my idea there. So nice trade in Yelp. CLNE, I put out a volume alert right around 12.50, and anyone who took what we call a Tokyo trade there got a quick move to 12.75, and that's about it. Again, Zozo and BTurk with some really nice calls today. Anyway, I'll quit babbling and we'll talk to you tomorrow.